Outright, Peter Brock will be alongside him in the Commodore. Dick Johnson, forward third. Alan Jones, forward fourth.
We're going then to Larry Perkins in a Commodore, Craig Lowndes from the Mobile Holden dealer team, Glenn Seaton, who had a little bit of strife yesterday, Russell Ingall then in the second Castrol Perkins car.
Pole sitter from yesterday, Mark Scaife, who tangled with Tony Longhurst, will start on row 5 with Longhurst alongside. Stephen Richards in the Commodore and Brad Jones again back in Wayne Gardner's number 4 Coca-Cola Commodore.
Then the first, I think, of the privateers, John Faulkner, Steve Ellery in a Falcon, then Terry Finnegan, Max Dumsney, just newly arrived in this category from NASCAR racing.
Mark Larkman from Ida 10 in the Ford on row 9. Alongside him, Commodore driver Mark Poole, Chris Smurden in a Commodore and Mal Rose in a Commodore on row 10.
Then Kevin Waldock in another Falcon, Wayne Russell, Steve Reed, who came to grief yesterday, and Neil Crompton also came to grief yesterday down at the back of the grid.
Kevin Heffernan and Paul Romano in the Falcon that also had electrical problems yesterday. So that's going to be a top field of 26 cars. We've got 10 Falcons, 16 Commodores, Alan Grice, Group A touring car.
And the other point too is that between walls like this, all the way, there are walls all the way around which make everything just that little bit hotter.
Okay, well, Neil Crompton's in car number 7, the Coca-Cola Commodore. How does it look from your seat, Neil?
How are you going this morning, guys?
Neil Crompton getting ready for the start of this 6-lap event, and a great shot of Neil there on camera. Neil, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, mate.
He either can't hear us or is...
It's pretty hard to hear you, though. It's pretty noisy in here, as you can appreciate.
Neil, coming up to the rear of the grid after those problems you had yesterday. What's it going to be like bringing this car from the rear and hopefully somewhere near the front?
Yeah, well, we had a very bad run yesterday. Made a mistake in the chicane, as you saw on Network 10, and then I had an engine problem which put us out of the event, so we're at the back of the grid, but I'll do my very best to try and make a few spots and not bend the car.
How's the heart rate?
Sorry, I missed that, mate.
How's the heart rate, Neil?
I think you said how's Bradley. I'm not sure, but if that's what you did say, Bradley's all right. He's a bit sore in the rib cage. He knocked himself around pretty badly yesterday in the little Audi, and but he's laughing and joking and being a normal Bradley boy this morning, so I think he'll go all right. I think he's about 12th, so he's got a bit of a show of maybe getting up amongst it, but I'm just the tail gunner taking care of business back here.
Neil, next, as soon as that start goes, the first chicane, there are going to be cars everywhere. You're right at the back. What's the plan? Just try and keep your thumbs well back from the edges, is it?
About the only thing I think I picked up then, I think it was Gricey saying, when I get to the first chicane, there's cars everywhere. What's the plan? The plan's to pass everybody, get in front, and increase the lead. It's the normal plan. Avoid the chaos, mate.
Yeah, you got the question right. I'm not sure about the answer, Neil.
Nobody's ever sure about my answers, so anyway, I better get back to work here. I've got no idea what you blokes are saying. I think it's in English, but I'll press on.
Thank you, Neil, and we do wish you good luck too in car number 7, the Coca-Cola Commodore, carrying the Network 10 Sport race cam for this event as they come around now to grid up for the start of this 6-lap race. John Bowe on pole position, Peter Brock alongside the man to watch, Dick Johnson, with the fastest lap yesterday. What's your advice to Dick at the moment, Alan?
Just nose down. He's really got to pull a good start. 6 laps, starting position is so important, but then so too is this first chicane. Everybody's got to try and keep their nose clean there, because the race really doesn't start from a tactical point of view till after the first chicane. I'm sure they're all pretty experienced drivers. Having said that, I'm sure they'll have a safe run through. Who knows?
Let's look at the starter. He's got his feet poised for the red button. We're only seconds away for the start of this EA Sports Group A touring car race from the Gold Coast. Watch for the red light. The moment it turns to green, they're away. These engines rev to something like 7,500 rev. 6-speed gearboxes. Watch for the green. Racing, and a great start too from Dick Johnson, but look at Alan Jones.
Jonesy's got a top start. He's going to try and have a little push through. Oh, you're giving him a niggle on the back tide.
So it's Johnson and Brock almost side by side, and also Bowe now leads. Brock, Jones, Johnson, Lowndes.
Dick's got the push, got the squeeze on the outside there. I think he missed the wall, but they're all still getting... Yeah, we've got a clean start through the first chicane.
Okay. as they touch up around 200 k's, back to third gear through the no fear chicane, and now heading down towards the bottom end of the track. This is a hard one, a hard turn left, and a big stop on the brakes, Alan Grice.
And Perkins and Ingle are the first movers. Jones is into third, and then it's Perkins, Ingle, yes. Perkins, Ingle, and then Dick. I think Dick's come out of that bit of a scuffle. No, it's actually Ingle in front of Perkins, and then we've got Dumsney, the NASCAR man. He's backed into the wall, but he's fired it up. He's back in the race. Almost take Lowndes out now. He's had some strife. Boy, he's right down the back of the field. I missed that one.
Okay, let's watch them through the first chicane up the back straight. It's John Bowe, winner here yesterday, followed by Peter Brock, Alan Jones, and there you see Russell Ingle doing a great job too in the Castrol Perkins Commodore, followed by Larry Perkins, the boss himself, through the Foster chicane, third gear through here.
Oh, yeah, keen to make some time up there. Look at Jonesy right across them, right across the curves.
Okay, here's a replay of the Max Dumsney.
Yeah, just locked the rears by this look, turned in, the tail's gone around, just kissed, no damage, but back into the race. But then Lowndes came through after that. He's certainly had a problem.
And Bowe already opened up a good 5 or 6 car lengths on Peter Brock as they head through Queensland curves and towards the top end of the circuit here at Surfers Paradise. It's a 4.5 kilometre circuit, and through the hairpin, which gives them the run onto the main straight.
That's a great shot of them coming out there. Look at him keeping that car straight, but the foot is on the floor. Great run onto the straight. I think he'll use that little bit of a run to pull out a little bit down the straight. And Brock, well, hasn't sort of come to grips with Bowie today.
5 laps to go, so it's still Bowe, Brock, Jones, Ingle, Perkins, Johnson, Seaton, Scaife, Richards, Faulkner, and Ellery that round out the top 11.
And Bowe's he hasn't missed a curve yet. He's very consistent. He's got the lot.
Yes, he's dominating this race so far. Dunlop tyres versus Bridgestone tyres in the case of Peter Brock, and Dunlop tyres too on Larry's.
Engle's got past Alan Jones. That's a great move. That's a great move for him.
And this is a man who's virtually new to Group A touring car racing. Won Bathurst last year with Larry Perkins.
Oh, he's giving it the workout under brakes too, and off the corner. He's looking very strong. He's looking like he might be poking up to Brock here in the next half a lap or so.
Yeah, it's a quick-looking car too, and this man has raced overseas in Formula Ford, did a great job over there, in other categories of motor racing too. Came back to base himself in Australia, was picked up by Perkins last year, and in many cases was responsible for Perkins' great drive from last to first in last year's Tooheys 1000.
He's certainly picking Brock up.
We're riding with Neil Crompton in the Coca-Cola Commodore. Heading up towards the first chicane on the back straight. Call this one for Alan. Let's have a listen.
Well, I think that's Lansvale in front of him. Into third, into fourth, into fifth. And now he'll whistle back through the gears. 1, 2, 3, back into third. Playing across the curb. Oh, Neil, don't hit the wall.
Just touching 200 k's about now. Back to second.
Nice and tight. He should be picking Lowndes up. He's just I'm sorry, not Lowndes. It's Ashby, I'm pretty sure, in front. Oh, no, it's a Falcon. It's a bit hard to pick there.
May well be Romano's car. They're back on the main straight with 4 laps to go. It's still John Bowe, who's opened up a big gap now on Peter Brock. Almost 2 seconds on Peter Brock. Half a second back to Russell Ingle, who's just picked up about 1.2 seconds on
Ingle's sitting all over the top of Brock at the
Alan
moment.
Jones, but yes, look at this is the battle to watch.
He looks very strong under brakes, Ingle. That's where he's picking Brock up. It's under brakes. Lowndes is in the pits. He's certainly that's why he slipped back through the field so quickly. Don't know what the problem is. Out of the car, he's taking no further part.
Well, not been a good weekend for young Craig Lowndes in car number 15. The pit talk this weekend has been that he signed a multi-year contract that's going to take him through to Formula 1. We're waiting for that to be formally announced, but in the meantime, Alan Jones in 3:01. The Falcon, built and raced here from headquarters on the Gold Coast.
Looks like Jonesy's starting to get back onto Ingle's tail, actually, but look at Bowie. He's just very comfortable now. Brock's seem to be holding the spot. Perkins is going to put some pressure on Jones. very clean through there, Jonesy. Come on, get up on the curbs and have a bit of a go.
Yes, mate, you drove with this man at Bathurst last year, finished second outright in one of the Glen Seaton Falcons, so you'd know all his faults.
Oh, well, you've just got to stir the man up. But I keep telling him that open wheelers are for Sheilas. He doesn't have a part of it. Although now that he's in a tin top himself, a car that's got doors, he seems to think they're the right way to go.
So it's Ford versus Commodore. Commodore, Ford, Commodore, Ford, Commodore, Ford. Nothing wrong with the parity in this race.
Nothing wrong with the parity here, that's for sure. It seems to be a little... I wonder if here's a good shot. Engel's really working through there. Jonesy's working hard through them. Come on, get in further over that curb. There's another dead. That's Lowndes' dead car. But I wonder if Engel's initial charge was because he had some soft tyres and they're just losing effect a bit, because Brock now seems to be just easing away from Engel. So it may well be.
As they head down the main straight with only 3 laps to go of this EA Sports Group A touring car race here from the Gold Coast. Johnny Bow just touching 251 k's as he goes down the straight there.
I think Engel, who's in car 8 and Scaife in 2, I think they may have incurred a bit of a penalty for too much curb hopping. Boy, how do you pick them out? They're all having a bit of a go at it, but Engel and Scaife, we've not seen much of Scaife, but Engel's certainly been getting across the curbs.
I thought it was a case of follow the leader, but you can see Brow has still fallen back from Peter Brock has fallen back from John Bow. We'll run through the first 10 for you. So it's Bow leading from Brock, then Engel, Jones, Alan Jones, not Bradley Jones, Dick Johnson, who's in 5th spot at the moment, Mark Scaife, Perkins, Seaton, Longhurst and Stephen Richards round out the top 10 as they head up the back straight one more time. Laps running out of this race now for Peter Brock, and Bow just keeps disappearing into the distance, but this is the battle. This is going to be an interesting one. It's Brock and Russell Engel.
Engel just doesn't seem to be able to get back to that half car length that he had on Brock before. I wonder if that's the thing. Maybe he's the Dunlop that he's chosen is a tad soft. It was terribly good for him in the first couple of laps. You can't believe, I mean, I know it's ridiculous to say, well, there's a little bit of a parking.
Car 28,
yeah,
the
just
Kevin
let
Waldorf.
it come off, thank you. Just stay there and wait for the green light.
And all the action has been through that chicane, so it must be very slippery on the entrance to that chicane.
Yes, and rear brake lock-up. It's really the thing you have to be careful of in these cars. The fronts get very, very hot, and the rear brakes then start to bite, and it's very easy to swap ends of these cars when the rear brakes lock up. That looked like that happened again.
Brock very tidy through the Queensland curves. Still maintaining that 1.6, 1.8 second gap. Johnny Bow is managing to maintain over Peter Brock.
Well, there's Engel certainly was across
only
that curve. There's no doubt about that.
So 1.8 seconds between race leader John Bow, second place Peter Brock, as they cross the line now with 2 laps to go of this touring car race. 2 laps to go. Can Peter Brock do it? I don't think so, Alan Grice. It looks like Johnny Bow's pretty well got this one sewn up.
Yes, he's looking pretty well. Brock certainly has moved at him just a little, but with 2 laps to go, I think you'd have to have a pogo stick to get over the top of John Bow to get past him. I can't see a pogo stick in that Commodore.
Well, even if you get behind him, it's pretty hard to get past him.
Well, there's no doubt about that. It's a very wide car on a narrow track.
Bow, Brock, Engel, Jones, Johnson, Scaife, Perkins, Seaton, Longhurst and Richards. And John Bow, there's the Mitre 10 Falcon, the Mark Larkham car. Had a big off too.
Yeah, got the front of it all untidy and nasty. You have a little bit of trouble getting out. The thing's bogged.
Yeah, that's been a big hit too. He's gone in quite hard on the front left hand.
Plenty of yellow flags there. He swapped ends way back up there in the... Here we are. Rear's locked the other way. Gone around. And he's got the tyre wall. And then, of course, the car behind him has just smacked him across the nose.
Yeah, so he's actually hit another car with the front right-hand corner of the car, but backed into the wall on the left-hand side. Let's look at the replay from Neil Crompton's car.
Oh, Neil, turn left as Finnegan clouts him, and Finnegan sideways. Neil saying, just a moment, and the heart's in the mouth.
Yes,
and he missed the lot. Well done, Neil.
The heartbeat went from about 185 to about 250, I would have thought, in that instant second.
Let's hope it's back to 180.
John Bow, car number 1. The most winningest driver in Group A in the past couple of seasons. He had 11 straight pole positions out of 13 races last year, and the form continues this year.
Yeah, he's the class of the field. That package is the class of the field. He's so smooth, and the car works so well. I mean, when he hits the ripple strip, the suspension does the work. The chassis doesn't jump all over the place. You see these other cars when they hit the ripple strips, the whole car lurches and leaps. in the air, but not that one.
Because he's had tremendous experience too, Alan. I mean, he's not just driven touring cars. He's driven open wheelers, he's driven sports cars, he's been Australian champion in a number of categories. He won the 12-hour Eastern Creek race with Dick Johnson in the Mazda last year, won the Tooheys 1000 with Dick the year before.
And he's not youth deprived either, Craig. That's the next thing you're going to say, I'm sure.
John Bow through the Foster chicane. Up to about 7,500 revs. Very fast around this circuit. We heard John Smales earlier tell us they're only 21 seconds a lap slower than Indy cars.
See how smooth the car is there. Same here. There's quite a lot of bumps in that braking area, but the suspension soaks them up. The same on the way out. The car will move, but not the big tail out slide. I mean, that's quick. He's doing a great job.
Very, very tidy driver. Very rarely do you see the car out of shape unless he's going for a super quick qualifying time. He's very spectacular in qualifying. We always thought this car had the race in for the weekend, even though Mark Scaife put his Commodore on pole.
Look there, that's a classic example. The suspension went over the ripple strip, not the car. The chassis just sat there saying, yep, I'm fine, I'm happy.
So you keep all four wheels on the ground, let the suspension work as hard as you can. You've got maximum traction.
And then you can get straight back on the noise, yes. But while the thing's bouncing, the whole chassis is bouncing, you can't put your boot into it. You don't go quickly.
Well, Brock still hanging in there.
Engel just lined that one up and almost followed by the wall.
Still 1.8 seconds behind with a 2-second gap back to Russell Ingall, and Alan Jones another 2 seconds behind him. So it's pretty static as they come up to...
It's pretty static racing, but anybody that likes to watch race cars, they're really seeing a great package working there. Brock's getting closer, but with only... I think we're on the final lap. Just this is the run to the flag. Bowie, I'll just let him close up and complete, I think, his 100% record at Indy. I think he's won everything 4 out of 4 since he's been here. What a great result.
John Bow for Shell FAI takes the checkered flag at this 6-lap event here from the Gold Coast Bartercard Indycarnival 96 in a great finish from Peter Brock, Russell Ingall, Alan Jones and Dick Johnson. And there's Bow winding down there.
And then just for the record, Mark Scaife, Larry Perkins, Glenn Seaton, Tony Longhurst and Steve Richards, the first of the privateers in number 10.
So, how would Johnny Bow be feeling now, Alan? Fairly happy, I would have thought.
Oh, yes. All of a sudden you start to realise how hot you are now. You don't for those 6 helter-skelter laps, but now he'll be saying, "Poor, that was hot there," and he'll be getting ready to complain to the crew when he gets out. "Give him a drink and give us a towel," and "Oh, it was hot out there, it was tough." But he didn't think one word of that for the last 6 laps, I can assure you.
John Bow and Peter Brock side by side, and when I guess you add up their combined age, they'd be almost as old as Murray Carter.
Settle.
John Bow, first outright, followed by Peter Brock. Russell Ingall third, Alan Jones in the Ford. Another good result for Alan Jones, 4th outright. Dickie Johnson started 3rd, finished 5th in this event. 6th outright went to Mark Scaife. Good drive through the field after starting 10th in the Commodore. Larry Perkins, 7th outright. Glenn Seaton 8th. Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Ford 9th. John Faulkner 10th. Alan Grice, great race. We'll see another round of the Touring Car Championship coming up pretty soon. But no doubt about it, Johnny Bow has dominated this event from the Gold Coast today. We've got more action to come, so don't go away. This is Indycarnival 96 on the Gold Coast on Network 10 Sport. The Ford Mondeo 3rd, and Greg Murphy in the Audi 4-wheel drive slots in 3rd spot. That's the car to watch in this event. Another interesting car, Alan Grice, is Kevin Schwantz driving the Peugeot, which was only arrived from Britain a week or 2 ago.
Yes, and coming to grips with that on a tight little track for him. There it is. You can see just to the back of it. Look at this. Jimmy Richards down the inside of Charlie. Murphy says, "Oh, look, a lovely hole. I'm in there too." Almost paint, but not quite. But a good move from 2 of them. And Murphy holding it, yes.
Thank you very much. I'll go through as well. So you've got Jimmy Richards, and there's Stephen Richards, his son, and Jeff Full in the other Peugeot.
Yeah, just a little bit of an argument over the same bit of bitumen, and Richards came second out of that little argument.
Jimmy Richards there in the blue Ford Mondeo, now leading Greg Murphy in the Audi A4. Teammate Brad Jones had a big crash yesterday, so only 1 car in this event. It's Super Touring cars, different to Group A. You can actually change the gearbox ratios in these cars, but not Group A, Alan. Grice.
No, Murphy all over him there. Got to run around the outside. Is Jim going to hold on? No, Murphy just down the inside and into the corner. Thank you very much. Very, very, very good under brakes, that Audi. Very strong.
A 4-cylinder 4-wheel drive car onto the main straight now. Jimmy Richards' car is a 2-wheel front-wheel drive V6. A little bit more power. but a lot lighter and a lot more nimble, and of course a great peddler behind the wheel as well.
Yes, certainly, but that Audi's the package for here. It's got four-wheel drive, it's got the power on the ground where Jimmy's struggling with front-wheel drive. Charlie O'Brien doing a good job hanging on to third there, really in a car that's not anywhere near the complexity and technology of those front two cars. Peter Brock and the Volvo, that package hasn't come to grip with it yet.
And there's Justin Matthews in the Faber-Castell BMW. He's had a hit through the No Fear chicane.
It's not all over yet, because here's another competitor that goes bang into the side of the wall. That could be...
yes, that's a replay of the Justin Matthews incident there, car 16.
And another one coming onto the scene, I think. Yes, he's got it sideways. Get out of there, and bang, just picks him up on the front corner.
Paul Pickett's BMW.
And they got... You've got debris everywhere. There's Bob Holden by the looks. He's great to see him in this category. Bob Holden's first race in Australia, you know, was against Captain Cook. He goes back a little way.
OK, well, the event has been red flagged. It's been brought to an end early because of this incident. So the race will be declared. We'll have a look at the results. First outright has gone to Greg Murphy in the Audi A4 four-wheel drive. Jim Richards in the Ford Mondeo second. Charlie O'Brien third. Peter Brock in the Volvo fourth. Cameron McLean in a BMW, great performance, fifth outright. Kevin Schwantz, sixth. Jeff Full, seventh. Stephen Witt in a BMW, eighth. Justin Matthews, ninth. Paul Pickett, 10th outright. Miles Pope from New Zealand, 11th. Kurtz Kratzmann, Bob Holden, Paul Nelson, Stephen Richards round out the top 15. And Paul Morris, who didn't finish in the Diet Coke BMW. Back to Bill Woods.